Welcome everybody to this edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with,
Uncle spoke.
And your boy Damon Armstrong, man.
and we welcome you tonight on this every Friday episode at 7:30. Strong Perspective. Make sure you go like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube channel by the same name, Strong Perspective Podcast, and build us up. Hey, we're chugging away. We're going forward. Just don't be the last people to hop on board when we're telling you that we got a great product. Come on through. You know what I'm saying? And we welcome you. How y'all feel today, Jaquari? How you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. Everything fell into place, so that's all I can ask for at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Damon, what about yourself? How was your day today, brother?
I had a good day, man. You know what I'm saying? I woke up with a prayer this morning, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Before I got out of the bed, man, and it actually worked. I had a great day, bro. So stay
Okay.
prayed up, man.
That's real. That's real. Um, I kind of want to just address something. I don't want to wait to the end because I just want to get this off my chest and off my spirit. You know, in our community, well, gun violence is a real horrible thing, especially in our community. Um, it touches a lot of us, in our past, our present, and in our futures. And a good friend of mine and her husband were victims of gun violence today, you know. And I pray that that God brings the McLeans under his watchful eye and bless them. Yolanda, a really good friend of mine, I pray for your recovery and God bless you and your husband. With that being said, what I want to do is Damon pointed out that in one of our podcasts we had an interesting question that he wanted to answer that we didn't get to. I think it was a lot of things. We it was one of those kind of podcasts that we were just going because it was the three of us, I believe, that we oh, your SMR is real, Quiet. Go, go, go. But anyway, no, I'm just messing with you, brother. Trying to take the tension off. Damon mentioned it, and we never got to it. We never got to the question, but when I read it, it made sense to address it today. But the question is, what do you think your place in the world is, as you, as a person? What do you think your place is in this world? We'll start with you, Damon, because you did all the studying.
My place in the world, man, has been an example. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I'm going through in my life, man, I have to be it trials and tribulations or good things, I have to show an example of how to be joyful. You know what I'm saying? If it's a good thing, you know what I'm saying, and appreciate life and the experience. If it's negative, to learn how to navigate it, man, learn wisdom and incorporate that through an example. Because my experience is unlike anybody else, man. That's God's biggest miracle, man. That it's billions of us, and we're not exactly the same. You know what I'm saying? We experience life different, man. We internalize it differently. And that's that makes it personal. So how you deal with it, navigate it, is going to be on display, and that's what I'm saying. You know what they say. You don't know. Uh, you truly don't know uh, why you go through things. Only God knows that. You know what I'm saying, and it's for a reason. And you might not understand the reasoning, but on the other side of it, how you deal with it, how you navigate it, how you overcome it, man, it's meant for a reason. It's meant for somebody can be on the outside who don't even know you and see you going through that and say, "Wow, okay, this is how I deal with it. This is how I can, you know, go through my own situation." You will never know what life you touch, man. You'll never know what life you touch, man. But you touching lives, you know, you touching lives, and it's all contingent upon something that's greater than us, and it's meaningful, and it gives you purpose as an individual. So I don't know if that makes sense, but to me it does. You know,
That's all that matters, man.
and it gives me peace and solace, man, to know that and understand it. And all I have to do, man, is try to be my best self.
Okay,
Mm.
okay. Jaquari, what do you think your place in this world is?
I think, excuse me. I think my place in the world, man, is to do the work, man, to be as understanding as I possibly can be. Because when I was a child, I wanted somebody to get me, you know, and in regards to complexity, man, we're all complex human beings, man. But I just always had a different way of thinking about shit, you know, and I've uh I've made a career out of being a rational ear, you know. I mean, you think about all the examples of people trying to give you an advice, give you advice and guide you in certain directions or whatever. But I don't. I make it important not to do that. But you know, I will. I will play devil's advocate and let you bounce your ideas off of me. And try to help you figure shit out. You know, just a little understanding, man. If I can't understand where you coming from, I'll tell you, and then we can make adjustments. If that's what you choose to do. But just being an example, man, of somebody who will give you the time of day. You know, simply put, man, that's all I got.
Okay, I think that what I think my place in the world is, uh, really and truly understanding one thing, that I'm not bigger than my immediate world. I'm a participant in it. As a father, as a husband, as a friend, as a brother, as a son, I'm a participant in it, and I do expect certain things, but do understand those certain things ain't guaranteed. I mean, like, I know you brothers are smart and all these different things, right? But I can't guarantee that you'll agree with everything that I say, and I wouldn't want you to, because then I would be thinking that I know everything and I don't know shit. So my place in this world is to be present and forever evolving. That's all I got. You know what I'm saying? I
just to
mean,
piggyback, just, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, bro.
Just to piggyback on that, man. Just in our own personal lives, man. When you in your 20s, man, what do you really know? You know what I'm saying? You don't really start getting it, man, until your early 30s, man, in your mid 30s. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? If you look at everything that's happening in our country with our people and whatever, the young people, man, they just go at things, man. You know, and then some of us survive it. Some people go to prison or whatever. But those cats in prison, all they thinking about is freedom and learning from it. No matter what damage they caused prior to that. At at some point in time, a person has to sit down and evaluate their life, man. You know, the things that you stood strong on when you was in your 20s don't coincide when you in your 30s, man. It doesn't make sense.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? And then you have to realize that when you're thinking about it in this context, that man, if I had a choice to do it different, that's wisdom, bro. That's wisdom. You know. So where's the gap, man? Where are we as a people missing things, man? It's between the time we want to dominate and be about that life, and damn the consequences, man. You know what I'm saying? To the point where when you had to be sat down, you get it.
yeah,
How many cats, man, that went to prison for 20 years and came out and leaving productive lives now? Has there ever been a statistic on that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you look at recidivism rates and such, yeah, I mean, there's a number of success stories, coming out of prison, man. Seriously,
Right.
I mean,
I can venture to say, and I agree with you, Dequari, that the majority of people coming out of prison are successful in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? We always been led to believe that if you go to prison, especially if you're from our community, and do a long stretch of time, that you ain't gonna be able to make it, and you're gonna go back. I think it's a small percentage of that. You know what I mean? But you know, I am optimistic. Let me put it like that. When
very
I speak,
optimistic. Yeah.
you know, that's
My
all. But
Go ahead.
let me say this real quick. But let me say this: we're sitting here speaking about it. The most important part of our population is not the young men and women that are in prison. It's the people out here are the most important part. I just wanted to say that.
I remember having a conversation with a young brother who was, trying to convince me he was about that life. And he don't care. I go to prison. I do the time. Can you? I said, well, what if you live till you 90 years old, bro? You know what I'm saying? You gonna do 90 years? Well, not 90 years, but you gonna do 50 years in prison? Really?
And then come
And
out
never
sleeping on
understand,
somebody's couch.
right? And not understanding what true freedom really means. Freedom is what you create, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, we got laws and statutes and stuff like that's supposed to guarantee that, but you still have to live it and experience it. You feel what I'm saying? I didn't know I was free until I went to Africa and was in a totally black country and say, "Hey, man, there's no real. It might be, uh, it might be certain prejudice or bigotry there, but as it when you think about how how life is and the experience is here in America is it's different. There's caste systems in certain countries or whatever, but bigotry and racism is something totally different. You know what I'm saying it's a difference between uh, colorism, all that stuff, and uh, thinking that, hey man, I don't like you because you poor. You know what I'm saying? Because my my experience from my background says that I'm better than you because I have a house. You know what I'm saying I can feed my family. As opposed to, hey man, I want to eliminate you because you ain't the same color as me. You know what I'm saying there's levels to that shit, man.
You don't see those situations as equally dangerous.
No, they are equally dangerous. I'm not trying to diminish anything. They are equally dangerous, man. But if you go to like the country of India, man, it's all caste. Yes, there's some lighter skinned Indians as opposed to the darker one, but then there's untouchables. That's not a visual thing. That's a caste thing. That's like, hey man, you the dreads or whatever, and you don't deserve to be touched. You know, untouchables. There are a group of people in India that's who are untouchables. You know, and it's
Mhm.
like there are levels where you can discriminate against a person, man. Whereas here in this country, whereas here in this country, it's a caste thing here also. But when you look at it, there's a like Kamala. She is vastly more experienced in terms of Trump with her background. You know what I'm saying? But can you really say that she's the dread or she's an untouchable? She's not. This woman is very accomplished. You know what I'm saying? She's very accomplished. So you have to figure out a way how to discriminate against this person. By like my man said, oh, is she Indian or is she this and she that? You know what I'm saying? And you can try to make that argument, but the bottom line is, if you look at her, what does she look like? She look like a black woman. You feel what I'm saying? And she speaks and she carries herself and she talks. You know what I'm saying? Like a black woman. And that's supposed to be a situation that's she's a nasty woman. You know, however he chooses to describe her, but she's educated. Oh, she failed the bar. Oh, that's
Right.
what you're going with?
We'll discuss the bla-
I know
blabber,
I went on a tangent, man. I
the,
apologize for
the
that, but
blabbering candidate a little later because it's nothing but comedy. Um, but what we're speaking to right now, it takes us to our
I know I
next.
went on a tangent, bro.
No, no, you was good, man. You know, but I'm tired of talking about Trump's fuck up. But we will talk about it though. The next question topic is it goes in line with what we're talking about. What do you think your self doubt originates from, Jaquari?
Well, I mean, my self doubt originates where all my trauma originated from my childhood, man. I was an introvert, you know, classic introvert, man. I was satisfied with, waking up on a Saturday morning and going downstairs and and watching Wagon Train with Pop, and
Yeah.
just watching cowboy movies all day long and shit, and and eating, you know, and my fantasy life was rich as hell, you know. So I just figured when it was time for me to go out and become a community, I was just gonna be this dynamic motherfucker, man, who just had it on the ball, and everybody's gonna come to me for advice and just goddamn, you know, I was gonna be this sage figure, man, just full of wisdom or whatever, man. But well, no, well, none of my friends thinking like that when they was my age. They was trying to play sandlot football and shit, and go out and look at the girls and all that. I wanted to do that shit too. But like I said, in my fantasy shit, I was leading the pack,
Mm.
But when I got out and into reality and started to understand that it's certain shit you got to work on, you know, hell, I didn't have any drive to work on it, so I kind of positioned myself, put myself in a position of being a late bloomer, coming into shit that my friends was into, when I was older or whatever. I mean, I caught up eventually, and hell, some of them I surpassed, but that's the rub right there. I spent a lot of time comparing myself to other people instead of doing the work on myself. Damon mentioned how in our 20s we're conditioned to like go after things, and be hard chargers or whatever. But in my 20s, man, I realized that you know nobody really gave a shit about what I had going on. And I don't mean that from a negative sense, you know. I mean, because I'm like, damn, man, well, shit, am I musty? Yeah, but what the fuck, man? My clothes ain't popping like everybody else clothes is popping. Did nobody give a shit about that? Did nobody care nothing about that? That was something I had going on with me. So as soon as I boosted my vanity, you know what I mean, and understood that I had just as much, if not more, to offer than the next person, I was all right, you know. But I don't know if that answered your question, man. But me feeling out of place and feeling like I was misunderstood or whatever, that started when I was a child, man, and the majority of it was self-inflicted.
Okay. Okay. Damon, where do you think your self doubt came from?
My self doubt came from not fitting in, man. You know, uh, as far as who I thought I was, and I agree with Corey, man. I felt the same way about myself too. But you know, the thing that affected me mostly is that the things that I had confidence in wasn't anything that coincided with everybody else, man. I was a quiet guy. I was a reader. I went to the library. And I did all those different things. You know, that's who I was. And for some reason, that was strange to most people. How come you're not like this, and how come you're not like that? And there was a very strong contradiction, man, because the things that I was doing, you know what I'm saying, was an expectation in school. And what is school in the early stages of school? What is it? It's a social thing, man. It's not your intellect or uh, what you're strong at in terms of academics, man. It's not that. It's the social thing. And if you that kid over here in the corner and you creating shit, they're gonna say, well, how come he's not a part of this group? We have to indoctrinate this kid, and that takes you out of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because your interest is not there. Well, how come? You know, how come this kid keeps getting up, moving around? They're not paying attention that he got the work done. They just want to know why he's not disciplined or her. You know what I'm saying? So that it affects you in a way where it's not building on your strength or where you're strong at. It's because you don't know how to associate. You don't know how to be social. You're different. You're an outcast. You know what I'm saying? you're outcast, and that throws a lot of people out. That's why a lot of, especially African American kids, you feel like an outsider. You know what I'm saying? And the system is how it affects you. Hey, what do they say from school to prisons? It's because you're being made to feel like you don't fit in. You know what I'm saying? You're being made to feel like you can't be social. You know what I'm saying, with the population. So hey, we're gonna punish this kid. Always take him out of the class or put the dunce hat on him, so to speak, and not really think about what you see this kid do. They're solving problems over here. You know what I'm saying they're solving problems, and and they have cognitive shit that's working for them that makes sense to them. But society teaches you that you different. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened to me, man. 'Cause I was a nature guy. I used to take walks, and people would see me and tell me, man, what was you doing? You know what I'm saying? But I'm standing in the middle of the river, and I'm traveling, and I'm going to different places. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever stood in the middle of a river, man, and the current is going in one direction, and you feel like you're traveling? You know what I'm saying? You feel like you're traveling, and then your mind is working, and you're thinking about things, and that's meditation. But in society's understanding that's weird. Why you do that? That's strange. But no, you're not traveling or in the same space with me. You know what I'm saying? I might be escaping, being in a world that's comfortable, that gives me comfort, but I'm thinking and moving forward. But it's all about indoctrination. It's not about individuality, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense, but when you ask the question, I'm like, how was I affected? I was affected, man, because I wasn't taught that being an individual was okay. I was taught to be indoctrinated into a system where I have no argument, man, because I don't understand how to be a part of that. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you different. It's negative. It's negative energy there, and it's outside of who you are because you are taught to believe that your individuality is weird, and it's not. You know what I'm saying, if you look at, and this is my last point, if you look at the people that's admired in this world, be it musicians or scientists or whatever, it's because they thought outside of the box and they weren't indoctrinated. They introduced something based on their own personal uh, self and who they are. And out and the world teaches us different. The world teaches us, man, you have to be a part of this and not an individual. And people, you get frustrated with that, and you get lost, and that puts you in different situations, prison, on drugs, or whatever, because you're not living yourself. You're not being who you are.
I mean, if you take into account, man, the concept of team sports, man. I mean, that's it's the ultimate indoctrination. Team sports, it instills certain values or whatever that society deems important. But I mean, for you to be a standout in team sports, you've got to be hitting on all cylinders. And as children, as young folks, I mean, very few of us are trained to do that. So we got to catch our shine, when we can. But shit, had it. Had it been in my power to do so, man, shit, I would have boxed. Shit, that would have been my sport.
I think. Were you done, bro?
Hmm.
I think that based on your abilities, man, determines what other people think your value is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, human nature, man.
Yeah, and that's the downfall for a lot of people, man. That's a downfall because it's not contingent upon your value and what you're trying to achieve and what you said something to me, Keith, man. When I first went to college, you was like, basketball teaches you your weaknesses. Remember that?
Yeah,
And your strengths. You know what I'm saying? That's how I got through college, man. My weaknesses and my strengths. I understood. Okay, this coach thinks that I fit into this card, but it was incumbent upon me to show him that no, I'm more valuable. He has to adjust to me. I don't have to adjust to him. You know what I'm saying? Or his scheme or whatever. Because if I exceed his expectations, then I got 3 or 4 plays. You know what I'm saying? That they call out. The guard come down and say two. Then I know I got the shot. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to if I don't show myself or whatever, then he's like, hey man, I just needed you to grab a rebound. You know what I'm saying? That's not that doesn't bolster your value. You just a cog. You just in the place. So imagine that, man. Hey, man, we only need you to do this. Never mind your skill set. You athletic, just go grab rebounds. You know what I'm saying? You not.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Never mind what you want to do. Sacrifice your aspirations for the greater good.
Right.
That's the message. That's the message. You know.
Yep. Yep. I agree. And
I
it's
think
just a matter of trying.
I
Damn,
think
man, this ain't working, coach. Let me do this. And and you risk the possibility of being taken out of the game. You know what I'm saying?
so. So really and truly, what you both are saying. I mean, I understand both your opinions, so I'm not lumping them together. But what you're saying is, it depends on how much a part of you wanting to be a part of whatever social group is where your confidence comes from. Because you're talking about team sports, you're talking about you're talking about uh, the way others see you. So it matters how they see you, or does it matter what you want, or can you do both?
I never figured out how to do both.
Okay,
I've always made it a point to 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 make sure I not only performed well in the team setting, but I excelled. But it never got me. It never got me the adoration that I wanted. Excuse me.
okay.
You know.
Here's the irony of it, man. For me, when we talking about team sports, for me, I always push back or against what role they tried to put me in. But what I made my mistake is when I overcame that shit and I became a true asset and a responsibility. I didn't take it serious because my mind was okay. I'm gonna show you out of spite. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you out of spite that I'm more than you. You know how you value me, and I got caught up in that anger and that cycle. Without, I never practiced outside of practice, bro. I'm saying I just was just angry enough to dominate and show, hey man, you can't put me in the car. I'm saying, who knows what I could have done, man, if I would have spent hours outside of practice, you know what I'm saying, bolstering my game and my skill set and understanding that, hey, I'm dominant at this. And you can switch that with anything. We can talk about politics. We can talk about anything. You can switch it. You know what I'm saying, if you allow yourself to be put in a place, man, where this is their expectation of you and not yourself, then you just a drone. You just in the cog. You just that person who just go through the motions in life, and you don't recognize that shit when you can't do it anymore, man. You feel what I'm saying? When you lose those skills and all that stuff.
Okay, well, let me just say this. You both reinforces reinforces your statements by using the sports as the solidifier, the foundation of it. But really and truly, sports is only a partial part of our lives, even though you know all three of us in one capacity or not went to school and played sports, college sports, right? But I'm talking. I'm really and truly, and you guys started off there, but then we went into the sports analogies. Self doubt as you, as individuals. Did you have self doubts in yourself, not from somebody else's view? That's why the key word is self doubt. You understand? Because self is a powerful tool coming from every individual because
I get what
it
you're
is
saying.
you. It is you that's making the decision to doubt, as well as making the decision to have great confidence in who you are. So,
Yeah. I chose you. I chose to use team sports as an example. I mean, just just so it would be an
yeah,
easy analogy. But I
yeah,
mean, excuse me. I'm sorry. As I said before, man, my self doubt came from me and my demons. I blame nobody. I blame nobody for the times I should have picked the ball up and ran it myself and didn't because I had something else going on. I don't blame anybody for that because my peers. There were those among my peers who did pick the ball up and run with it, and they were successful because they took a chance on themselves. I didn't take it. Look, outside of uh, a couple of things at Eastern Michigan. After I left there, I didn't take any risk on myself. I didn't take any risk on myself until I moved to North Carolina. You know, so
okay. Um, Let me just say this: throw my self doubt in. I can honestly say, because of the responsibility our parents put upon me, I was always thinking, trying to be corrective of everything, right? So the origin of my self doubt is running into people who did not mean me well and would say whatever they wanted to say, right? And I was foolish enough to trust them as it being the truth. So my mistake was believing the BS, the bullshit. That's where my self doubt, because I made that choice, that myself made that choice to doubt me because I was foolish enough to listen to people who did not know me and who did not give a shit about me, but wanted to damage something because of what was going on in their minds, in their hearts, and their self doubt. So, what if misery loves company? Guess what? If I can make Keith miserable, then I won't feel so alone. So, that's my answer to it. And it's simple. So, let's reverse it. And we'll start with you, Flute. Where did your self confidence originate from? And when did it happen for you?
My confidence came from being combative and being successful, bro. Coming to a realization that I don't agree with you. I'm gonna do it my way, and this shit work. That's
Okay.
where my confidence came from. You know what I'm saying? I was. The reputation on me was I was difficult. You know what I'm saying? I was hard to work with. I was difficult. I was all these different things. But at the end of the day, I had this determination, man, where, and this truly worked for me. I had this determination where I'm like, okay, you think you know me and you think this is how it is? I'm gonna show you something different where you have to use me, where you won't have any choice. You know what I'm saying? And I worked from that perspective. I worked from that, and I saw what was successful and what wasn't, but it was all determined on me making my decisions about myself. You know what I'm saying? And they had no choice. But here is the thing that hurt me is the fact that I focused on that instead of focusing on my heights, man, and what I could accomplish. You know what I'm saying? I didn't pay attention on an individual level in terms of being inspired to be my best for myself. You know what I'm saying? I did the shit based on proving somebody wrong. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got some accolades out of that, but then you were left with, damn, I could have did more. You know what I'm saying? And you don't recognize that until you can't do it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Or you missed out on opportunities. You know, so it's hard to balance it and say, man, what if? I can't blame what if on anybody else, just myself. Because I chose to fight something that I had no business paying attention to in the first down place. Because I understood that if I applied myself, I was successful in spite of what people thought who I should have been, you know. So that kind of haunts you in the end. It's like, damn, man, I'm paying attention to these clowns, man. Well, I could have been doing this, or I could have been doing that, and I made and they made me hate what I enjoy. You know what I'm saying, because of their expectations. You know,
Okay, Jaquari. Where did your self confidence originate from?
Probably a couple places, man. Uh, the first would be my it, my self confidence came from the information, man. You know, it came from information. Period, man. Just being knowledgeable about shit. You know what I mean, and not being overbearing with it. And being able to answer questions from people. And when they do the research, they find out I was right about something. You know what I mean? That was a hell of a boost right there, man. And then just being in situations, like throughout my work life, man, where I would be put in positions to where there would not be a lot of expectations from that position, but me being involved in it made it turn around. You know what I mean? And having ideas to bring to the table, man. Having an opinion about whatever thing needed to be produced or whatever. and people coming and asking my opinion because, in those situations, my opinion mattered, you know, and through experience, man, I come to realize that, it wasn't only those situations. I have an opinion on things, an opinion that, people align with, and, on a lot of things or whatever. Not saying that, I'm a status quo thinker, but, you know, the way I navigate things, man, is and in some settings is refreshing, you know. So yeah, that's where my confidence comes from.
Okay. Damon, did you go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Let me add mine in here. Where my self-conscious, self-conscious, my self-confidence originated. It was easy to do because what it was is part of it. The origination had to do with being responsible for both you guys, right? Where every turn that I made individually, somebody gave me the wrong information or gave me information that didn't fit me. I didn't have control over, right? So when I started to take and this I'm not speaking from a burden thing. I think it was this more or less when your parents ask you to do something and you want to please them, is what you do. And it was always a pleasure to be there for both of y'all. So every time I was right about something that I gave you, it showed me just how perceptive I was and how intelligent I was. When we sat down and had conversations about things and different things like that. And when I go and research it and find out I was right, just by looking at it, like, yo, this don't look right. Let me wait and see. You feel what I'm saying? So that little thing helped me to identify who I was. Then anger propelled me into bullying the bully. And as I did those things, which was unnecessary, but bullying, I'm talking about verbally bullying the bully, right? So I'm not going to sit up there and argue with you if I ain't right. So you could turn around and make me look even more stupid. So what I had to do was pay attention and research it and be this. And basically what it is a mental discovery of who I was looking at in the mirror every day. It's what it was. It's where the self-confidence came from. So every time I opened up my mouth, it was not, I didn't fly off the handle and say what's what. No. I gave myself 5 seconds to think about what I was going to say, and I said it. Now, you could disagree with me. That's cool. But if I'm going to say it, I'm more right than wrong. You know what I'm saying? So everything, and that, the self-confidence piece of it has to do with knowing that you can navigate throughout this life with whoever you meet. You can be in every room. I've always believed that I can be in every room. And when I was in rooms, I excelled. Not to impress, but hey, go
That's
back
key.
to it. Go back to it. It's a little bit of a drone type of situation if I'm not leading. I'm going to be the best drone I can be until I get my opportunity to lead. But that's my answer.
I think, man, I think the mindset I took is that If somebody proved me to be wrong, and I put forth my best argument, the only thing that happened in that situation is me learning something.
You sharpened your tool.
That's all I did, man. You know what I'm saying? And I would, I'm that person who would go back to the person I was arguing with and say, "Damn, bro, you was right, man," and say, "This is where you was right. I give you that," and not feel any way about it.
Yep.
Not feel any way about it. You were right, bro. I mean, yeah, you got that. You know what I'm saying? If I had an argument in that situation, my argument would be, why was you trying so hard to make me wrong? You know what I'm saying? Was it personal or was it a conversation? You know what I'm saying? Men can have differences of opinions, man, and we, respect each other. That's a skill. You know what I'm saying? But if your purpose is to, I want to destroy this guy, man, to make myself feel better, you haven't learned anything. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a position where you can teach somebody and realize that, hey man, I feel good, man, that I was able to express a point, man, without being combative, and just say, hey, you know what? This is my opinion. You can't, if that don't give you a good feeling, and, as opposed to the opposite, to to prove to yourself that you intelligent, then that's an issue for you. That's yours to deal with, not mine. What I'm saying, you gave me information I could use to help myself. I'm saying, and be better and be stronger. You boasted. You gave me information where I can be stronger in that aspect. I'm not gonna be insecure about it and say, oh man, this dude, they bested me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like being on the basketball court. A cat can dominate you in this situation. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you to find out how you can dominate your situation to make him work harder on defense. To, what I'm saying? Sharpen each other's tools and shit. That's what life is, bro.
I was blessed, man, with having conversations and not needing to be right. I see it as a blessing. I see it as a blessing because I've learned so much, through those conversations, man. Valuable valuable information or whatever. And I may very well have started out the conversation dead wrong. But as a man, I see that as a very, somebody who can't admit that they're wrong. I see that as that's a weak trait, man. That's a weak trait,
I
and
agree.
you'll never grow past the point where you are. You know, if you can't admit that you're wrong, you know.
Yeah.
And that's how you come to respect your fellow man and shit. It's like, damn, I see you different because you know what I'm saying, you can formulate an argument, man, and make and convince me. I respect you on that level. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I don't have to be combative with you. I see you different now. You're an intelligent guy. You're an intelligent woman, and you made your argument. That's some deep shit. I see you different. I don't see you as an asshole or a jerk anymore. You have a point. You
Can I
know,
ask you guys? Can I ask you guys? Two-part question. Have you ever ran into somebody, man, who who wanted to test your intelligence? That's the first part. And number two, how did that make you feel?
I
for me,
well, go ahead, Fluke.
for me, It depends on who it's coming from and their motivation. You know what I'm saying? Is their motivation, man, is to operate out of envy and anger and shit and resentment, or are you
Just
are
make
you
it.
are you are you conversating on are you conversating to have understanding? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean that. I mean, it's totally. My question came from a standpoint of somebody trying to make you look like a clown.
So my response to that is, and I call it my foolish 20s because I'm 6'9", dark skinned black man. You understand? Always been muscular to heavy my whole life. So
All right,
people
Adonis.
look, people want to be, people want, when you make them, your presence make them feel small. They want to do that. And I mentioned earlier, I've ran into those kind of people my whole life for no reason. Wasn't looking for them for no reason. But see, here's the thing. My mind has always been sharp. Now, and early on, I couldn't respond the way I wanted to. But as my tools got sharper, I'm quick with it. You understand? So to answer your question, yes, I've ran into those kind of people. And my response was, or how it made me feel, I'm like, oh shit, hell yeah. Because what I'll do is ask them the question to test the water. So what did you mean by that? Well, why don't you explain that to me? And then when they confirm that they're testing me, and I have a lot of things within my wheelhouse that I could talk about. You understand? Because it's from a personal point of view. It's not about knowledge, because that's the thing that people try to trip you out on, man. Is you look like a fool if you're not knowledgeable. I'm really quick to say, hey, I'm not sure about that, but here's my response to that. What does that have to do with this situation, and why did you ask? You see what I'm saying? And what that did, because it was always white guys who was intimidated by my size, and it was always brothers who was who you know how we get sometimes, right? But then there was women also who wanted this test my mettle to see if I'm worthy of their time. And I'll start from the women. I'll let them know, by you asking me that question, you are not worthy of my time. You have a good day. It's just the truth. I could have been interested in them, but by them doing that to me, I don't need it, right? Brothers, I'll ask them that question. But in the energy of, what the fuck is your problem with me? Right? But it's not gonna be negative unless you push me to negative. That that
Right, right.
no, I'm asking you because I want to make sure, because I don't believe in attacking brothers, especially the ones that I think is inferior. White guys, I invite the smoke. I really and truly do, because they jump to conclusions. And I've had so much, word I'm looking for, fun with the white guys. And I ain't got nothing against no white guy. But my occupation, right? And you not knowing my background. Oh, Armstrong played, was drafted, played with the Bengals, but he's a basketball player. So he's a big dumb job, right? Cool. You feel me? That's fine. If you want to be that way, it's fine. But I'm not. When I was young, I went out of my way. This is you. I'm telling you, these guys, this is the first time I'm saying this. I went out of my way to let people know how smart I was. I did when I was a youngin'. In high school, definitely in high school, definitely maybe freshman year in college until I got to the point where I don't give a fuck. Prove yourself to me. But my point is, when I got to the point, I don't have to prove anything to you. All I can do, if I'm interviewing for something, I'm going to tell you what my qualifications are. Now I'm gonna give you the decision. I'm not gonna kiss your ass. I could be fucking starving. I'm gonna be cordial. I'm gonna be all this thing, and you got all the decision in your hands. I'm not gonna kiss your ass. What I'm gonna do is tell you what my qualifications is. Because when I found my self-confidence, be damned to all the other bullshit. You feel me? That's all,
You,
man.
you you know how I always approach that type of bullshit, man. Two situations, man. When I know a cat is trying to get at me, man, to impress other people and all that shit. You know, my first statement is, "Oh, you one of them motherfuckers? Okay, let's get into it, bro." You know what I'm saying? That was always my approach. I'm like, okay, dude, you trying to build something off me, but by a challenge. So my first response is, oh, all right, man, I get you. You one of those guys. All right, I see.
I get it.
If you want to get into it, we can. You know what I'm saying? And secondly, man, I had this job, man, when I was working, and one of my bosses came to me. This is when I used to work out and all that shit. He said, "Hey, man, Armstrong, I need you, man. You're a big guy." He literally said this dumbass shit to me, man. And he's a good dude, man. But he literally said this shit. He said, "Man, you're a big guy, man, and you're working with these kids, and they're intimidated by your size. Can you make yourself smaller?" I said, I said, "You're asking me if I can make myself smaller. Okay, how do I go about doing that?" I'm just saying, this motherfucker actually got up on the wall and slid down and said, you just make a smaller approach and this and that, and try not to be so aggressive when you're talking and this and that. And I was like, dude, do you know you literally asked me something that is impossible to do, man? What? So I'll tell you what. When I see you, I'll say good morning. How you doing, sir? And this and that and that and this. So you won't be damn uncomfortable. How about that? You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to engage you in this dumb shit, man. I mean, that was a dumb question. You know what I'm saying? And cats that challenge you just on some old whimsical bullshit or whatever. Okay, all right, man. You one of those guys. Go ahead and speak your mind. I'm just gonna counter your bullshit and make you look stupid. It's not me challenging you. You challenging me. I don't have to address anything that I don't have to argue with you about anything. We're like, damn, dude, why would you ask me that? Or really, dude, the day you chose to come at me like that, I mean, why? I've even thought about you all day. You got my attention now. Let's hear your argument, man.
The way I handle those things, man, is I simply tell them, yeah, I don't know, man. Now, whether that makes me look bad
I
or
mean,
or or
if it's the
or
truth,
kills not, yeah. I mean, even if it's not, whether that makes me look bad or kills an opportunity, I mean, I could care less because I mean,
yeah,
first of all, I'm thinking, who the fuck are you to test me on shit, man? Like, you know, uh, are you doing this to everyone?
yeah, yeah.
Is there something about me that makes you think that you see some chink in my armor? If you do, okay, well, go ahead and rap. Go
Right.
ahead and rap.
Yeah.
I don't
I,
give a
Dude,
shit.
it's
I just,
hey, 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 dude, it's been a long day. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds.
look. I think what I understand is the simple fact that it's always going to be some kind of, you're going to always run into some foolishness. You know what I'm saying? It's a decision that you make. Now, I got time for it all until it sounds stupid. You know what I'm saying? When it gets stupid, when you try to get personal. Oh, I'm gonna get you back personally, but then I'm gonna stop. Because really and truly, being retired now, it really reinforced how I was in my last 15 years on the job, right? That I was well equipped as I'm in my everyday when I'm not working. I'm well equipped to handle things as they come. You know what I'm saying? So being going through just about everything on that job, from the terrible, the highly terrible, to the smallest mundane thing. When you go through something once and you survive it, you handle it better the next one. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to really just cut it off, I've always been a straightforward, blunt guy. Not to offend you, but like I told you and Damon earlier, I'm gonna ask you the question. So, what's the purpose of this question? What do you mean? Not because I want to attack you, not because I want to push you back or I was waiting for this opportunity. No, because sometimes I'm gonna misinterpret something, or sometimes I'm gonna give you the opportunity to change your mind before you say something stupid. You know what I mean? Because I always understand one thing I understand about my everyday work and just my everyday life. I make mistakes and I own up to them. You know what I mean? Just like you said, Jaquari, you just tell them I don't know. If I don't know it, I'm gonna say, yo, you know what? I don't know, man. What do you
I don't
think?
know.
What do you think? You know what I'm saying? But the thing
People think
about it,
of
go ahead.
people think that's a shameful statement, though.
And see, that's those people really and truly. Now, if it's your job to know, Jaquari, then
Mm.
yeah, you get me? If it's your
Mm.
job, if they asking you about your job, you better know that shit.
Right,
You better
right.
know.
That's a different
You
situation right
better
there.
know it. But
I agree.
if it's something they just trying to get you caught up on, or you have a different way of you doing things than them and all this, then you have to make sure where they coming from before you respond. You feel me? Because I don't. The funny thing about it is how law enforcement people, man, are the biggest gossips in 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 forever. Because you gotta understand that, being retired from it, I understand that you are privy to every ounce of information about people. The bad part about them. You understand what I'm saying to you? So guess what? You can't hold that shit. You gotta go to your coworker, like, yo, man, this motherfucker, blah blah blah. It what it does is stop you from losing your sanity. So you're a gossiper. My wife called me a gossiper today. I said, no, I'm
Mm.
not. Then I stopped. You know what I'm saying? I stopped because I said, you know what? By nature, for 30 years, that's what the fuck I was, because we have so much information. Cuz, what's going on, baby? Um,
What's going on?
What's
we got
going on?
we privy to so much information, man. We really and truly are. So
But let me ask
I
you a
don't
question,
like
Keith.
when motherfuckers challenge somebody else's manhood because they did it differently from them. Now, if I'm in the middle of a fight, the one thing I understand about myself is I got to get myself out of it. Even if I got backup, I got to get myself out of the situation. You know what I'm saying? My people can depend on me, but I won't depend on them. Meaning, I don't have an expectation of them. But when they come through for me, I acknowledge them. Like, thank you. But I'm not expecting them to come because I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of this shit. So I can't think about who coming. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about who's here. You know what I'm saying? So not just going on a tangent. I'm not gonna go on a tangent, but that's my point though. It's like people want to make other people look small because they feel small. That's,
Let me let me ask you all both this question, man. When it comes to the jobs that y'all do, man, isn't it about protocol and policy, man? And if you just follow that, you don't have to get involved with the other bullshit, man. No matter what the person do, or they're being combative for whatever. As long as you following policy, can't you go home with peace of mind?
if you're doing your job, you're doing your job. Now, I also understand this. I have, and I used to teach this to all my trainees. There is a professional way that we do things. That list that we have when we go on a call. Follow that list. Now, some of those parts of that list, you can veer off a little bit if you're trying to help somebody out. You understand what I'm saying, T? You know what power you have.
Right,
But
right.
I agree with you, Damon. You follow the policy and you won't get in trouble policy wise, right? But you also got to be aware of if you're going to help someone out or be aware that you can't drop your guard. It's got to be always professional. You know what I'm saying? It's always professional. You know, it's not going to prevent anything, but what the thing about it is, when shit happens and you got to write it up, you got that line that you went through, and you can go back and recall everything that you did. Jaquar?
Yeah, you can follow in my position, man. You can follow policy, man, and at the end of the day, go home with a clear conscience. But uh, if you're going to be impactful, man, you have to, at least listen. Okay, yeah, there. I'm gonna do this A, B, C, and D, but I want to know what your motivation is, man. If you can't tell me your motivation, then it is what it is. But if there's a reason why you chose to do this particular act, and that reason, is you know detrimental to your development, then maybe at some other point in time we can talk about that reason.
Yeah.
But I got to be approachable enough for you to open up.
So
So
your position is therapeutic.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So when you come, I'm not necessarily going to put the hammer on you in the beginning. If it's bullshit, I'll tell you, yeah, it's coming, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's coming
Well,
because
on the
you
screen,
was wrong.
yeah.
Because you was wrong, and you was wrong because you just told me you was wrong.
Okay.
If you can understand that.
Yeah. Well, let me address this on the screen because this put up here, right? It said, "What does policy look like in law enforcement?" Now, I can get you. I can just go down to how I followed it. When I say policy, meaning how you treat people. If you're in a traffic stop, before you pull the car over, you get on the radio and you tell them the description of the vehicle. Just give you an example: description of the vehicle, where you are, how many occupants, and all of that, right? And the license plate number. You feel me? See, that's the policy. What I'm talking about, what you follow. Then when you get out, when you walk into the vehicle, you make sure that you do certain things. Most officers make sure they touch the trunk area with their palms. They do that because They do that because you want to leave some kind of evidence that something crazy happened. And then you
Wow.
go in and you talk about, you greet the person in a pleasant way. No matter how pissed off you are, you know, you greet them. Unless you're dragging them out of the car, you greet them in a certain way. Hey, listen, how you doing today? Can I have your license and registration? The reason why I pulled you was blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? Now, those are the kind of standards. When I go into a domestic dispute, I go and knock on the door. I make sure that there's no one hurt in the house and no physical damage that's done to anybody in the house, right? And then I separate the parties. Me and my partner would be in eye shot of me, and he's in eye shot of he and her is in eye shot of I'm in eye shot of them, right? And we get the stories of what happened, right? Now, if I'm the primary, they already got the story. Maybe it's the victim. They already got the victim story, right? So I have them stand by the possible perpetrator. Then I go talk to the victim. You see what I'm saying? It's a simple. It's the way that you conduct yourself in front of people. Because part of being a professional is being, especially if this is a little traffic stop or say somebody called and there's a burglar around the house. You go there and you are talking to the victim, making sure that they are at ease. You go check every window, you check every exit around the house. You conduct yourself as a professional. That's what I meant by when I do everything by the book. It will help me go back and recall if something happens. Say if somebody, I walk around the house and then next you know, and it's happened before, next thing you know, somebody jumps out the trash can. Now I'm chasing them through the woods. And when I catch them, right, and place them under arrest, now I know I go back to when I talked to the homeowner, when I did this, when I did that. You see what I'm saying? And then if I go to put my hands on you, that's definitely being a professional about it because there's an escalation. You ask, and then you go soft hands if they are insistent on resisting, if you're going to arrest them. You see what I'm saying? See that's what I'm talking about, because when it comes to uh, understanding what you should be doing in all this. And then the most important thing, the very most important thing is when you go into somebody's home or you deal with them on the street, they are human beings. And you talk to them like they're human beings. You feel me? You know, I look, that's the best way. And it was 30 years worth of that because I came up with that because I was on the other side before and I understood that how I was treated. And I knew I wasn't going to treat people like that. But I was careful now, but I was going to treat people the right way. You feel me? You know, I mean, look, I ain't mean to get way into that, but I saw him, you know, I saw Cuz put that up there. You know what I'm saying? And but that was the furthest thing from my mind becoming a law enforcement officer. I tell people that shit all the time. Furthest thing. But then I had my son and my wife, and I needed a job. You know what I mean? Now, understand something. I've had people say to me I was a sellout. And I would look right at them and say, do I know you? Did I grow up with you? You don't know shit about me.
Well,
And
that's
then,
an easy argument to
and
come
then the
with.
next thing I would say is, why am I here? You
Right.
understand what I'm saying to you? Don't talk to me like you stupid because that's the thing. That's the go-to. You know what I mean? Going to little white houses and to be called out of my name and all of that, right? And to have to hold it, and have restraint. You feel me? So you know
Hmm.
what I started doing? I would look right at them and laugh in their faces. It was a little
Me too.
unprofessional. It was a little unprofessional. It's real.
Hmm.
But but all it did was piss them off more. And I did my
Hmm.
job. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
That's all.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, you ain't lived until you had a 16-year-old white kid call you a nigga, and not not like and this is no justification, but not hard, not hard art, but yeah, what's good morning, man. What's up, my nigga?
Ooh,
And you like, whoa,
yeah.
like, okay, and then it's mind you, it's a room full, black and Spanish kids or whatever, and they all saying it, all of them, and they
Yeah.
all accept it,
Look, but
and they all accept it.
you staff, but he cannot get away with calling you that.
Not at
They
all.
they can say
Hell
what
I don't
no.
even.
yeah.
Hell no.
I don't even let the black boy get away with that.
Yeah. That's what I'm
No.
talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Um, okay, let's
Yep.
get this last question and we'll bring it on home. This should tie everything in a nice little bow. I saw something on social media. This young lady said, someone said that in your relationship with others, was that your relationship with others is a reflection of your relationship with yourself. What are your thoughts about that? We'll start with you, Fluke.
That is a false statement because, and my reasons is that I don't know what the hell you're going through or what you've been through. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea, and you're not gonna lump me into your emotional state of mind, man, because it's not mine. It's not, I have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I have to relate. I have to think about how I adjust and deal with the world.
I'm kind of you kind of lost me. I'm gonna read this to you again.
Okay.
He said your relationships with others is a reflection of your relationship with yourself.
If you include yourself with a relationship, if you include your mindset with other people, you're not thinking individually, man.
Got you. Okay.
You're not thinking individually. You're trying
Okay.
to be indoctrinated in terms of functionality. Hey, man, this is how the world is, and this is how I'm gonna function. If the world gives me hate, anger, and resentment, then I'm a respond in kind. That's not you dealing with your shit, man.
Got
You don't have you know what I'm saying? You trying to function and survive on your own accord, man. And how the world is, if you believe in demons and all that stuff, in evil, the evil is to convince you that you're not an individual, that you're not special, that you're not who you are, or have a purpose on this earth. You're just here to coincide and be like everybody else. You know what
got
I'm saying? How do you deal with that, man? You can never come up with an answer, man, that's going to soothe your soul, to make you feel like you have a purpose or you belong. You just reacting.
you. Okay.
You're just reacting, man.
Okay.
What kind of life is that? You know what I'm saying? What you feel internally doesn't matter because you're reacting to shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So why have a conscience if you living your life that way?
got you. Okay, I got you. All right, Jaquar, what do you think about
Well,
your relationship with others is a reflection of a relationship with yourself?
I truly believe, man, people who dislike liars are liars. People who dislike people who steal have stolen at some point in their lives. That the things that we absolutely hate about ourselves, you know, we see those traits in other people. We absolutely despise it because we know we are that. You know what I mean? I mean, you take somebody, a person is homophobic, for instance. You know, in some cases, man, they could be fighting those urges. People who go out and gay bash and stuff like that.
Oh well.
I mean, it's
I,
something to be
I,
said, man. I mean,
No. I
that's
hear what you're
I,
saying, man.
I get you. I get you, but
People have to address that, man. If that's the case. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. But go ahead and finish the core.
that was just about the gist of it, man. Like if I'm dealing with a person, who procrastinates, man, I'm the biggest procrastinator I know. Something is just a simple example or whatever. I ain't gonna put my deviance out there now.
No doubt. Look, they say the laziest people make the greatest supervisors. They know all the tricks.
Yep.
um, what I took, and it's a little piece of what you both said, but I think you brought it on home, Jaquari, in my book, where I took it at. I thought it was interesting because I wanted to hear both your points of views, actually. Um, when they say birds of a feather flock together, so when you're around someone that you're comfortable with, right? You see, you see a lot of yourself in them. You know what I mean? Or they may be the opposite of how you see yourself. So that's the opposite reflection. You feel what I'm saying? Where I don't think it's a correct. This young lady. It was her passing thought. This is how she felt at the time. You feel what I'm saying? So I think it would be a hard thing to do, other than just like I said, birds of a feather flock together. You go find people with like minds. You feel what I'm saying? So if I feel like, say, if it's a deviant where you like fucking hard candy, right? That ain't no code, it's just actual candy. You like hard candy and people saw it as a deviance, right? And then you ran into 3 or 4 people who always got hard candy in their pocket. You gonna fuck with them. You know what I mean? No, that's just that's the way I took it. Now, anybody else have a different opinion? That's cool. Please put it in the comments, because if you do, I'm gonna make sure that we address it. Later. All right. Well, look.
What about if you misguided and misled and shit, man? Because you didn't have people to teach you how to be an individual.
Well, that's the whole point of it,
You know
though.
what I'm saying? I mean, that dispels that birds of a feather flock together, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm reading what Cuz is saying. Every face to me is the image of me, and I am the face of God, and as He is me, we all are some type of reflection of all of us, like us all have a perspective.
True statement.
True statement. True statement.
We all have a perspective of how we think,
Yeah.
and that requires us to be honest with ourselves, right?
Yep. Yep.
But that's the hardest endeavor, man.
Oh,
And
to really be honest with yourself, man,
mhm.
because you help yourself get over your shortcoming. So you lie to
It's true.
yourself. You
Well,
lie to
do do you get over your shortcomings, or do you just put a band-aid on it?
that's exactly my point. It's what
Insecure.
you do. So once you try to you challenge yourself to be more real about who you are and who you see in your reflection, you pull the band-aid off. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Cat asked me one time. He said, "Man, I heard you always say, man, I'm led by my um what's the damn that's it's slipping my mind that quick. I'm led by my not insecurities, but never mind. I lost the thought,
Deviances?
man.
Pick a word, dude. No,
No, man. Humbleness, man. Humility.
gotcha.
I'm led by my humility, and this guy argued, man, that's a weakness. And I said, why is that a weakness? Because you humble, man, and that's weak, man. And you allowing people to, take away your strengths. And I say, no, dude. When I say I'm led by my humility, it doesn't involve anybody else. It's just me. Me thinking, say, damn, I have to be honest with myself and say, damn, I was wrong about that shit. And accept that fact. If you come to the conclusion that you was wrong about something and you choose to stand on the other side of it, that is not a good thing, man.
I
It's not a
mean, look,
good thing.
people do it all the time. You know that. You know.
They do it all the time because they looking for a fight. Most people look for a fight, man, knowing they're wrong.
Yeah.
The thing that they
Yeah.
struggle with is, damn, I was wrong and I I was proven wrong. How do I accept it? How do I move forward in my own space? You know what I'm saying, because when you look in the mirror and you just like, man, I was real fucked up that day, and do you want to dismiss that shit?
But I'm
Even
saying,
if you come to that, even if you come to that conclusion, you was fucked up,
so
and then and
let
then
me
and then in the aftermath, you decide that I'm gonna dismiss it and stand on that my wrong shit.
let me ask you this real quick. Is it being humble or is it being apologetic? Because they're two different things.
You can apologize, man, and call it neutral, a standoff, and not accept responsibility for your own personal actions, bro.
Apology? You saying if you apologize and you're not accepting your
How many
own
times?
accountability?
Let me ask you a question with a question. How many times can apologize and didn't deal with their own personal shit? You know what I'm saying? You
But yeah,
you you could
but do we
you
do we
you you can you could question an apology, man, because you don't know where it's coming from. Is it coming
but
from a genuine place, bro?
okay, okay, good point, and it makes sense. And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just what I'm doing is haggling over the words because it's apology and it's being humble. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Now, you you
When
can
I
ar-
when I,
you can argue the veracity of whether or not these people are being genuine when they apologize. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
do you guys think they're two different words, meaning two different things?
It's
absolutely.
two different.
Yeah, when I'm humble, it's a choice. I don't. I've never been humble out of fear, and I've never had any reason to apologize for it. I'm humble, because I know that I make giants tremble,
You
and
make
whether or
what?
not this situation, I make giants tremble,
Okay.
and whether or not this situation goes right or left is totally under my control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't look. I don't put 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 to put put any stock in outside forces, man. I walk shit. Well, I've been working on my. I bought me one of them posture correctors, them medieval strap shits to keep your shoulders back or whatever. Because I've been trying to work on my posture, man.
Now you want to walk around like you want to fight a motherfucker all the time.
That's
What
what
up?
I'm
Just
saying,
with
man. You
just
50
What
years old.
up,
just with my chest out. I mean, like I used to stand up straight.
motherfucker? I got you.
I used to
Man,
stand up straight, but the years done weighed so heavy on my shoulders. I stoop when I walk now. I don't like it,
I
so
got
I'm trying to correct it.
you. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah,
I
but I mean, people who are humble out of fear, man. I mean, are usually apologetic about shit.
yeah.
I'll apologize for inconveniencing you, but I won't apologize for occupying the space that God put me on.
Yeah. I
but
think.
is that
Go ahead.
great?
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
The question I was going to ask to Corey: is it a misnomer to say you apologizing or you being no, you being humble out of fear? Being humble is a personal thing. You know what I'm saying? If you're being humble out of fear, then that's another whole other subject, man. You're not addressing the thing.
I don't think so. I don't think so because I mean, I'm quite sure, we've all, heard statements of people saying, yeah, I, I had to humble that motherfucker, man, and put him in his place. Well, that's that's the negative connotation or whatever. I don't have
Okay.
anything to do with that. I'm humble because I know what I can do, or I have a pretty good idea of what I can do if I'm pressed, and I don't want to be pressed. So I control myself
Right.
for the sake of the good, for the sake of the greater
Right.
good.
Exactly. Exactly. I
So,
agree with you.
so let me ask you this: are we actually using humble in the wrong way?
Well, I think he just addressed that. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no, no, no. No, I understand that. I'm not disagreeing with neither one of you guys, but I'm just curious. Definition of humble. I want to know. I want to know what it is.
You looking it up?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, shit. It
If we
says
gonna have,
having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. And the sentence that comes with it is he was humble about his stature as one of the rock's history's most influential guitarists.
hmm
So you purposely pull yourself back, and you
I
don't.
do in a lot of situations.
So you don't promote yourself then.
I don't because I mean, when I'm hitting on all cylinders, I don't need to
Yeah,
because I mean, I got other people cheerleading for me. I mean, whenever you find yourself in a position where you got to cheerlead for yourself, I mean, you're doing something wrong.
now
That's part of
here's the negative joint. It says a low social, administrative, and political rank.
it. Okay.
So
Okay.
it's several different versions of it. But my thing is,
Mhm.
uh, I was thinking about it, right? Um, let's throw the sports in real quick, man. Then give me your opinion about it. Say LeBron James. You're a LeBron James fan, right? And you meet him, and this man is gracious towards you. You know what I mean? And if you want a picture, take a picture. But really and truly, you have a great conversation, right? What is usually said is, I met LeBron James. You know, he was my hero. And you know what? This stuck out the most to me. And this is where my problem with the word humble is. He was so humble, right? So here it is. People use that word to make themselves feel better about themselves. So if you meet your hero, LeBron James, right, and he greets you like a regular person, human being, and in your mind you feel that he, because he's your hero, he shouldn't, right? The first words you come up with is he's just so humble. What about he's nice? Oh, he's an accommodating human being. He feels like a regular person, right? But humble helps you with that meeting because it depends. Now, this is my personal opinion. I'm not arguing it, but I'm giving you my personal opinion. That meeting, when you feel in a certain way about yourself, right? You meet your hero and you don't feel as though you're just a regular human being and you disturb you said it earlier, you deserve to be in the same space as LeBron James. You feel what I'm saying? But you acknowledge it to yourself, this man spoke to me. So it comes out in your words. Oh, and he's so humble. You feel what I'm saying? I think that word is used for you. You dig what I'm saying?
Well, you could choose. You could decide to choose what it meant for you, man. But
Yeah, I know that. This is what I'm saying to you is that the negative part of humble that I have about humble, and I just gave that sports analogy just for
well, right, and I use and I brought up the word humble, but I can interchange that with being meek, right?
same thing, ain't it, bro?
Somebody could say, "Oh man, that's a meek brother." When he saw me and he stood in front
That's
of me, he's a
negative though,
meek
man.
brother. No, no, but wasn't Jesus meek?
I mean, it's where
And
people get
do you see Jesus being meek as a negative connotation?
get that, but what is meek? What is meek used for? That's my whole point of bringing it up. Right? Had nothing to do with it's just used in different variations.
Meek to me is
Yeah,
that,
I
hey,
mean,
bro, I'm gonna step away from you before I knock your goddamn head off. You know what I'm saying?
that's for me. That's the connotations don't match, man. For me, you know,
Okay.
I mean, it's like I said, it's all interchangeable. And I was just being the advocate when I said, hey, let's talk about this word humble. I wanted to see what y'all thought about the word humble. You know what I mean?
It all
Because it's so
depends.
many different.
It
Go
all
ahead.
depends on where you at in life, man. You know what I'm saying? As if I'm a
Oh, whoa,
35
whoa.
year old
Stop
man,
right there. Stop right there. Put a spotlight on that shit you just said. That right there that brings the shit home. Is where you are in life. What you think about you. Great fucking point. Great point. Go ahead and finish.
I'm just saying. I mean, uh, you put a stamp on it, man. It's where you feel like you are in life. I don't have to be. If you want to challenge me, like we spoke about earlier, you want to challenge me. That's your thing. Just don't put your hands on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
gonna I'm gonna let you have that, bro. But when I see you by yourself, it's gonna be a different conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a different conversation. But I'm not gonna be arguing with no clown ass dude, man, because they wanna have a step up on my behalf. You know what I'm saying? You challenging me because you see me as a threat. You challenging me because you see me as something that you need to prove yourself against. You know what I'm saying? So you throw those words out, and you want to put that tag on me, but in reality, it's like, dude, man, like we said earlier, when I said, really, dude, is this where we going, man? You know what I'm saying? I can walk away without lives being lost or somebody being assaulted. Really, that's where we going, man.
Yeah.
Now, if anybody got some type of understanding, be like, man, he ain't had time for your clown ass.
No
You know what I'm
doubt.
saying?
No doubt. All right.
And
Well, look.
everybody,
Man. I don't know about y'all. It was a great damn conversation. And I appreciate Cuz, Taylor, sister-in-law. Thanks for your comments. Appreciate them greatly. Any last words, gentlemen?
Hey, fellas, I thank you for your time, man. I hope I was coherent.
Yeah, you are.
You was, man, the whole time, bro. You was
Look,
very poignant on a lot of shit.
look. And didn't stutter one time.
Right.
For real,
Yeah, for real.
I can't even remember. Shit.
All right,
Shit.
Damon, last words.
Man, I'm grateful, man. You know what, man? Every morning before I get out of the bed with my wife, I make a prayer. You know what I'm saying? What am I supposed to be, you know, looking at and following and whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm humble and, looking for guidance
Okay,
and understanding wisdom.
got
You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at. And that only affects my life, man. You know what I'm saying? And what I project out in the world. And that's where I stand on, man. I'm not judging anybody. Everybody got to go through their own shit. Hopefully, you live long enough to know better and do better.
you. No doubt. No doubt. All right, well, look. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you go like, share, and subscribe at Strong Perspective Podcast on YouTube. Build our numbers up, right? Because we're gonna keep plugging away until we become fucking famous. Every 5 minutes, every 5 minutes we say some and I invite you to do this, especially if you got bigger numbers than us. Every 5 minutes we say some viral shit. So make sure you pay attention and you have our permission to use it as long as you give us, tell them where you got it from. All right. This is Strong Perspective Podcast. We'll see y'all next Friday, baby. Peace.